Yes, what I'm trying to do is to write a comprehensive history of the educational aid the socialist countries provided to Africa and the Middle East. That means the schools created by socialist countries in the post-colonial world, and also the students who studied at universities in the socialist countries during the Cold War.
Okay. Yeah, my research is actually departing from a very simple question. Because when we look at the late 1950s, early 1960s, we see suddenly rising numbers of African students in the Eastern Bloc. And by the beginning of the 1960s, there are hundreds of these students. Yet, at this time, many African countries were still colonies, and the colonial governments wouldn't allow these people actually to go. So I'm asking the question, how did they get there? And what I find is that there were very many different ways and routes that they were traveling, and there were very many important African actors on the way, so we cannot just say there was the connection between the states in the Eastern Bloc and African countries, but there were many intermediaries on the way to allow also for these routes to function. And that's something I'm following up, and there are very fascinating routes actually going all the way from East Africa through Sudan and Egypt to Eastern Europe, for instance, other routes going through Western Europe, through London, through Paris. So that's something I'm following up and looking at the way how this kind of mobility was at some point in time very much open for individual agency from bottom up, and at other times how the state, beginning in the 1960s, mid-1960s, how the states then again regulated this mobility more and more to assert their authority about their citizens.